Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading for the brave, for the stout, for the mature. It is not your traditional tarot reading because I focus on your ability to manifest. It may be the single most important thing any of us can do is to learn how to manifest. It's a natural gift given to us, I believe, from birth. And we use it throughout our lives in so many ways. Most of the time, very small ways. Okay? Just as an example. A couple of weeks ago, I'm largely the carnivore diet. I sprout my own seeded vegetables. I'm very concerned about my health. Walk 3 miles a day along Lake Superior no matter what the weather's like. I really focus on taking care of my body, not insanely, but to the point where I do basic stuff every day. And part of that is the carnivore diet. I get grass-fed meat, chicken, eggs, that kind of stuff. Don't buy it at the store. In fact, there is nothing that you can buy in your average grocery store these days that won't destroy your health. There's nothing. Even the fruit and vegetables are genetically modified. There's nothing. So, that aside, I, several weeks ago, had this craving because I am of Eastern European origin. My mother came from Poland. My father, second generation Poland. So we have this kind of palate. That includes meat. And my mother was outstanding at making liver. I mean outstanding. People who hated liver, and most people do, loved her liver. She had her own little secret sauce recipe, whatever it was. And it took the bitterness out. It was tremendous. And liver is one of the best things that you can eat because the liver is the only part of your body that can regenerate. It's the only one that can do it. You cut half the liver away for whatever reason you'd want to do it, but you get the idea. It'll grow back. The liver is the powerhouse. It handles everything in terms of your metabolism in the body. So getting liver from an animal, pretty good choice. In fact, the American Indians, Native Americans, if they were to kill a buffalo, the first thing they would do is, as they were preparing to take the meat, they would get the liver and eat it raw. I give them credit for that. I do not think I could do that. But they ate it raw, meaning they were getting mega nutrition. So it's a very important situation and a very important product, anything dealing with the liver. Well, as I said, these days you can't go to a store without getting something that's poison. And I know that the liver sausage is a processed meat. It's a poison. Nevertheless, I had this insatiable craving for liver sausage. I tried to put it off, but it was there, always there, and gradually building day to day. So after several weeks, I finally said, the hell with it, I'm going to do it. And I got a pack of liver sausage. It was wonderful, it was delicious, and I knew at the time I was eating stuff that had chemicals in it that are not good for me. Okay. I had manifested that over the previous weeks. And so when I finally gave in to the craving, guess what? Liver sausage was on sale, half off. Whoa, so I got 2 packs. I got Gemini, a lot of Gemini on my chart. Okay, so I took care of the craving. But I kind of manifested that, certainly the sale part of it. We do that all the time. I want you to do it consciously. I want you to be able to tap into that. Does that mean you're going to have a perfect life? No. I had to eat liver sausages that I know was not good for me. It had all kinds of junk in it, terrible chemicals. But it tasted so damn good. Took that one shot, the 2 packages, and that was it. So, same thing with life. You'll manifest and it's not going to be a perfect life. Remember, life is a 4-letter word, right? So it's going to have its good spots and its tough spots. Most of it, thank God, is somewhere in the middle. But it's through those difficulties that we really grow and develop our character, our integrity, our personality, our spirituality. So I try to embrace as best I can the difficulties, knowing that that's where real growth is coming from, because that's the only way you're going to get anybody to move to do anything. Got to be uncomfortable. If you manifest, you can, to a certain degree, adjust that uncomfortability. I believe in fate. If you want to call it the will of God, that's fine. I have no problem. But life happens to us. And then we have to react to it. And it's that reacting to it that builds our character and our strength. So I want you to be fully protected and covered with your ability to manifest. And I do this every day, 365. Let's do today's version. The middle card, the oracle card, is the overall feeling of the reading. It's called mending. Mending. We don't do that much anymore. Years past, I don't know whether you've heard the expression, a stitch in 9 saves, or stitch in time saves 9. A stitch in time saves 9. Meaning, let's say you have a pair of socks. Instead of throwing them away, which we do today, they would stitch them up and double or triple the use out of them. Still usable. Well, that's the idea of mending. A stitch in time saves 9. This is a time in your life, and you should know this by now intuitively at least, the shit is about to hit the fan. It's already doing it, but boy, I got a funny feeling. Woo. Was it in Slovakia? Their prime minister got shot because he spoke out against the World Economic Forum, banking system, several other things. And within a couple of days, somebody shoots him 4 or 5 times. At this point in this reading, I don't know whether he has survived or not. But that's happened before. Happened to Muammar Gaddafi. Happened, whether you believe it or not, to Saddam Hussein. He was talking about developing a new currency for the region. World Bank said, no. Gaddafi was trying to develop a new currency for Africa. World Bank said, no. Same thing happens in any country when any leader speaks up against the system. They're rubbed out. In fact, John F. Kennedy, JFK, they believe was assassinated because he was getting ready to change the banking system incredibly by just connecting us to the value of silver. Plus, there were a couple of other things as well. And they just said, nah. We're not going to put up with that. So, that being the case, mending is fixing. It's not walking away from, it's fixing. Several reasons for that, not going to get into them. But if you make the commitment to fix, to repair, that's a tremendous commitment, not just on the surface, but much deeper. So, with that in mind, let's go to our meme today. This is from Marianne Williamson. Until we have met the monsters in ourselves, we will keep trying to slay them in the outer world. For all the darkness in the world stems from the darkness in our heart. And it is there that we must do our work. Again, one of the reasons why I'm such a fan of manifesting is because everything in our world is largely a reflection of what's in us, good, bad, or indifferent. It's not blaming us. It's saying that we are vibrating, if you will, at a certain frequency. Stuff we got from the time we were born. That's why you can do an astrological chart on a newborn baby and really kind of lay out their lives. Okay? Astrology is knowing cycles. It's not predicting. It's knowing cycles, just like we know when the next new moon or full moon is going to be. That's not predicting. That's knowing a cycle. Tarot, on the other hand, is potential. And so the potential in this reading is mending, taking something that you already have, that exists in your life, and mending it, giving it that spiritual stitch. So let's take off and see what we have here. All the way to the left, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Pentacles are things that we value, and I'm not talking money. I'm not talking things. I'm talking peace, love, health, purpose, connection, gratitude, those things. In fact, time. Put time at the top of the list. Time is the only thing that you can't replace. You can get a fortune and lose it, get a fortune and lose it, get a fortune and lose it, depending on how long you live. You can get your health, lose your health, get it back, lose your health, get it back. Time, it's gone. It just keeps on moving. You never, ever get it back. So be careful what you do for work. If you hate what you do for work, you are literally throwing away your life because you're never going to get that time back. So those are the kind of values I'm talking about. And the Ten of Pentacles is really the culmination. Ten of Pentacles talks about legacy. Even a kind of inheritance. What are your values? Why do you value? What kind of values are you going to pass on? Very important stuff. This Ten of Pentacles says you must have a solid base of values. Not the shallow crap, but real serious stuff that we were just talking about. And the card right next to it kind of explains further. It is in reverse. It is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords talks about winning, but it's really kind of a hollow victory. Okay, so you played the game and apparently you're winning. You got a nice house, you got a nice car, but you've given up your soul. You've killed your spirit. That's not a success. That won't happen if you have a good, solid value system. Of course, on the other hand, too, the Five of Swords might mean that you are battling through this shallow value system to something better. That you are adding that stitch in time. Let's continue with the values. Next card over is the Hierophant. The Hierophant, well, they call it the Pope of the Tarot, but really what it's talking about is what's your belief system? What's your group identification? How do you see yourself as a human being? Big questions. And those are questions that you have to answer, you have to figure out for yourself. You can't look to any outside source. Like Marianne Williamson said, the darkness is within us. It's not outside. The devil is in us, not outside. But we look outside because it's easier. But doesn't mean a damn thing. It's not effective. It's not changing. It's not mending. So how do you mend? Final card, Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles talks about reciprocity, giving and taking in equal measure. That means with you. Remember, we're talking about the work inside of you. Don't worry about the devil outside. He doesn't exist. Devil's inside each and every one of us. And I don't mean that in a religious sense. You know what I mean. So that weakness, that darkness, that fear needs to be addressed, needs to be mended. The healing has to be done. The mending has to be done from the inside out. Now, maybe what's ahead of us, because I think the world is really going to get strange in the next, well, the rest of this year for sure, and maybe for the next several. We're at a real critical point in humanity. It's make or break. So let's get to the work of mending ourselves. Do the healing from the inside out. And maybe this stuff that we're going to go through, maybe that will provide us the opportunity for this deep inner healing. Let's cross our fingers. That's the tarot reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another. Between now and the next time you and I get together and talk tarot, peace and blessings.